Hello everybody, welcome back to One Leeds and Connor here. We are back with another post-match stream. I hope you're all doing fantastically well, even after that. Get your thoughts in, I'm going to be reading them out. Yeah, I'm a bit deflated after that one, just a bit deflated. I'll be honest with you, I didn't say it on the debrief, obviously, because, you know, you got to be ultra positive, but I had said behind closed doors, Everton were going to score first, and then Leeds were going to respond. Listen, you might not believe that, but it is what it is. You know, some of you may believe that, but yeah, might just show you my reality mindset. Not thinking with my heart instead of my head. But yeah, Leeds have drawn the game to Everton. 8 points out of the first 5, which is, you know, staying up form, of course, which I'm looking at. But I mean, I just think they're a really below average team. I think they're going to be in the bottom 4. And I just thought that first half performance was pretty poor, really, really poor. Thought they time wasted. The referee was a joke again, as every single English referee is. They just pander to the ego footballer, which is what we're all used to now. The ego footballer goes down, starts rolling around. The referees pander and give a free kick. It is what it is. Frank Lampard starts bitching and moaning on the sideline. They'll give another free kick. It is what it is. English tax is prevalent in this game, but it's very, very unfortunate. Thought we were much better in the second half. Didn't understand why he took Sinisterra off. There's a lot of people saying fitness. I mean, I don't know. When Click was getting prepared and ready, Sinisterra looked like he was chasing down every single ball that was coming to Jordan Pickford. I thought he looked okay. He looked sprite. He looked engaged in everything that was going on. And I thought that was the X factor. I thought when he was taken off, this is no disparaging comment to Click. I thought Click was all right when he came on, but you know, Sinisterra is the X factor. He's the X factor in this side. He's the Rafinha. You saw that with the goal. Wonderful finish. And when you take him off, suddenly the game seems to balance a little bit more. Everton start coming forward a little bit more, and Leeds start losing a little bit of threat. Start looking a little bit frustrated. I thought Patterson versus Harrison was a thing all game. I thought Harrison was all right. I expected a little bit more from him in this game. This is my point of view. Don't know what's happened there. Sorry, slid off. This is my point of view. I thought, yeah, Harrison veered off towards the end throughout the whole game, to be quite honest with you. But I don't know. I am fairly disappointed with that. I'll be honest with you guys. I am. I expect, you know, a win would have been brilliant and a really good start to the season, but I think it was soured a little bit by the programme notes as well at the start, which is essentially Angus Kinnear saying that we have 2 fully fledged internationals who are fit and ready every single week, is almost how he was paraphrasing it, and we have the best young prospect in the league coming up as a youngster. I just think it's gross negligence if you're coming into this, if you're leaving this transfer window without any striker. Bamford looked good when he came on. I thought he looked good, some neat touches. I thought sometimes he was a little bit inconsistent in his passing and stuff like that, but he looked good when he came on. But you can't rely on it. You can't rely on it. Rodrigo went off with an injury again. You know, Gelhardt will go off with an injury. You know, it's going to happen. You can't rely on it. And it's so frustrating that he's coming out and saying that at the start. And it almost like made me really, I'll be honest, I don't like swearing on this channel. I don't. I try to keep my professionalism high, because I think that's definitely worth a thing on YouTube. But it pissed me off, the fact that at the start of the game he's talking, you know, the CEO is talking about Leeds having 2 fully fledged internationals at number 9. Are you serious? What are you talking about? Bamford had 1 international appearance against Andorra, then was injured. Rodrigo's barely started as a number 9 for Spain in his entire career. What are you talking about? I don't know, like spin doctor-esque, you know. And I'm the sort of guy who comes out and backs the board. I did a whole thing on my Patreon about backing the board and being there and being, you know, excited that they've done this, the project. But they've got to advance with the project. There's got to be, you know, the next stage to the project as well. It can't just be, look what we've done. This is what we've done. Be happy at what we've done. You know, we've got to advance that project. And for him talking about 10th, like potentially finishing like, you know, 10th to 14th with, you know, 2 strikers, number 9s, as he likes to put it, Angus Kinnear. who, very, one of them is very inconsistent in Rodrigo. We've not really found that consistent spell with him. Bamford is consistently on the injury table. We all know that. And then Gelhardt is in and out. He's not played 10 Premier League. He's not started 10 Premier League games. It's just this real false narrative that they're going with, which for me is essentially saying we're skint. But then again, they're showing 40 million quid for CDK. It's just all up in the air a little bit. Listen, there's 130 comments, guys. Sorry, I've just gone off on a little bit of a rant there. Listen, I thought that game was there for us to be won. I think they're going to be in the bottom 3 or 4. I think they're an average outfit. I think Connor Cody is bang average. I think Tarkowski is bang average. Once again, English tax. Patterson's a decent player. Mikolenko's all right. I just felt Leeds could have really, really got at them tonight, used the crowd and really got at Everton tonight. But I thought they played us for that first 45 minutes. We came out in the second half with a better team in the second half. But against an Everton side, I just thought, come on, man. Come on. I mean, have we won against Everton at home in the Premier League since we've been back? I don't think we have we? That's got to change. What have we lost? 2-1 against them, drawn 2-2, and drawn 1-1. I just think, I don't know. Let's get into some of your comments anyway. Hot and cold, Harrison, Connor, Cine should have stayed on, Harrison off. Listen, this is why, Craig, anytime Harrison does really, really well, I'll come on here and praise him. But at the same time, when he deserves criticism, as I've said, with Jack Harrison, I always obviously want him to do well. But he is hot and cold, and he's always been hot and cold. People don't like saying it because he's the favourite and he's been unbelievable for Leeds United, and I'm really, really happy that his trajectory at the start of the season. But against Brighton, against Brighton, you can maybe excuse it. They've got a very good setup, very, very good setup. But that's where, in my opinion, Rafinha steps up. And I'm looking at Jack Harrison to take the mantle off Rafinha, right? Not Sinisterra because he's a new lad. I'm looking at Jack Harrison, the experienced pro, to take the mantle off Rafinha if you want to be at Rafinha's level. Because there's Leeds fans comparing his stats to Rafinha and saying, assists, goals, he's pretty much the exact same. Is he really the exact same as Rafinha? He's not at all. So, that influential status that Rafinha had on this side, the amount of defenders he'd take over, the chance creation, 155 chances created last season. Jack, I'm looking at Jack this season thinking, you take that burden, right? And in games like this, I feel like Rafinha would always show, especially against Everton, Brighton, okay, maybe a tough game, I understand that, but Everton at home. And I thought he was poor today. I thought he was really, really poor in a game where you've got Nathan Patterson, who's played, 3-4 games for Everton. He's a young lad. You're an experienced pro. Come on. You can really dictate this game for Leeds United. I just thought a lot of his decision-making was a bit, maybe I'm being harsh. I don't know. Tyler Adams was quality again. Yeah, I thought he was decent. Don't know if he was quality. But it is what it is. 8 from 15. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Not bad, lads. I'm not going to read that out, mate. We absolutely need, says First Pack, a genuine left back. Otherwise, Harrison is getting doubled up every single time. Strauch is not a threat going forward. Also, Strauch can play centre back, and we can drop Llorente. Yeah, I mean, we say it every time, don't we, guys? All you won Leedsers, you know it. You know what I mean? You're all on this channel for a certain reason. The haters can bog off somewhere else. But you all know it. You're all in a bit of a mind synergy with me, a cohesive mindset that we know the problems, don't we? We know the problems. Listen, we're not going to be getting left back. Looks like we're not going to be getting a striker. I'm all right with the point. Listen, I'm all right with the point. It's okay. But I think you look back at the end of the season, you see Everton at home, who we all know are going to be in a relegation battle. We all know that. And I'm not coming on this with an ego trip that Leeds aren't going to be involved in a relegation battle. I'm not saying that. You guys know that when you come onto this channel, I'll be completely real. I'm not saying that Leeds aren't going to be involved in a relegation battle, but what I'm saying is Everton are going to be involved in a relegation battle. And when you've got them at home, when you've got them without Richarlison, who is always a problem, when you've got them without Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was a problem at Ellen Road last season, you've got to take advantage of that. You really have, when Leeds have got a nigh on a fit, not fully fit, but obviously a fit squad in terms of what we would expect. Bamford back on the bench, Joffrey on the bench. I don't know. Harrison never stopped trying. No, that's fine, Tom. Listen, I'm not about. This is the thing with Dan James. Dan James never stops trying. Everyone stops trying. I expect players to keep trying. I expect that. You've been paid a lot of money per week. I expect you to keep trying. My frustration sometimes with Harrison, it is the hot and cold thing. People get upset by it, but it is the hot and cold thing. First 3 games of the season, unbelievable. Last 2 games, I just expect a different level from him. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. I don't know. But I just expect that Harrison, is, and I'm not just getting on Harrison. I'm not. Let's talk. You can talk about Llorente. You can talk about good performances as well. Listen, let's talk about some good performances. I thought Sinisterra was exceptional. I thought he was absolutely exceptional. I thought his ball control, his ball retention, his efficiency in the pass, his movement was excellent. I thought he looked really, really good. And I thought when he went off, as I said on Twitter, I thought that it dropped. Everything seemed to drop for Leeds. Everton seemed to get a little bit more in the game, and I understand there was a little bit on fitness, but listen, I'm not a coach. I understand that. They all know more than me. I'm just a fan who comes on here, but you guys disagree. Listen, open up your own fan channel. Just click YouTube, create a video, just do it yourselves, honestly, or come on here, get your thoughts on. It's an open forum, of course it is, but I just thought in this game, it could have been a little bit better. Okay. A lot of it seems like James was good, pressurized them. Yeah. Yeah. Had that flair going forward. Yeah, and I will say you guys listen. You guys will know about Rocker with me. I think Rocker was fantastic today. I thought he was dictating everything. It's not. I actually don't care if people think I've got like bias towards certain players. Like Mark Rocker is an intelligent footballer. He never really wastes a pass. Yeah, he's been brought off on 60 minutes because of fitness, because he didn't play for Bayern regularly. But he's always wanting the ball. He's always getting off the centre backs. He's always looking left. He's always looking right. He's always looking centrally. I don't know what we'd be looking at if we didn't have that team. I thought we looked quite exposed on counter-attacks like we have done this season. We had to rely on Ilan Meslier for a brilliant save from Nathan Patterson going through, and I always felt like when you broke that line, Everton were in, and I think that's what we're going to face this season, especially with the good quality teams. But I thought Mark was really good. I thought Tyler Adams was okay. Brendan was all right, better than the Brighton game, but I think what teams are going to start doing with Brendan is nullifying him. Because I think if you nullify Brendan, you almost restrict Leeds a little bit. And maybe teams will start doing that with Mark Rocker in terms of his passing distribution like they used to do with Calvin. But I think with Aronson, they've started doing that a little bit. And maybe it's because he's a little bit crowded, because he's a bit further up the pitch. But listen, there's absolutely no doubt that there are improvements in this side which are needed. There are transfers which are needed. If you guys have just mentioned, make sure you're liking the video, please. Really appreciate that. It shows on the algorithm of YouTube a little bit more. But if you do not invest, we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle in those positions. And the ceiling of this side, in my opinion, is probably going to be around max 15th if you don't invest in the next coming days. If you invest in the next coming days, this side has an unbelievable projection. It has a really, really good ceiling, as I've just mentioned, with the other stance on it. I genuinely believe you bring 2 players in, and this side there's a completely different outlook on it. But as you saw tonight, as you saw with Brighton, it follows similar blueprints to what we've seen before. Leeds struggling in the final third. Leeds struggling in certain areas when it comes to being exposed on the counter-attacks. This is stuff we're used to. It's stuff we're used to. It's not an overreaction. It's stuff we've seen it's not just Jesse Marsh. It's stuff we've seen before as well in the Marcelo Bielsa era. It's been exposed in certain aspects. It's been exposed with certain players. It's been, it's the same players there or players that have been recruited in those positions that need improving on. You always need to develop in the Premier League. You always need to evaluate, and you always need to recruit in a better way. And I don't know. I think to an extent we've done that this season. But if you're asking me, I've been asked a numerous amount of times to give my evaluation of the transfer window, and I've said I'll wait until the end of the window and then give my perspective. But if we are to be negligent here and not invest where we need to invest, I think what can you say? What can you say really? What can you say? Meslier, Ash should have saved the goal, but at the same time, Ash, he made an incredible save when we were completely exposed. We were exposed, weren't we? Nathan Patterson's through on goal made another, which we've probably had Wolves now, maybe a couple of Southampton chances. and Brighton in particular when they went through on goal as well, where Melee saved us. I can't criticise Melee. I really can't. I think his kicking was a bit off tonight. But aside from that, what can you do really? You can't. The guy's keeping us at some points in games. Tea Leaf says, thoughts on Joffrey, mate? Good, but needs a little composure for me. Yeah, he should have won us the game, shouldn't he? That chance where he went through, he should have won us the game. Should have slotted that beside, either side of John Pickford, and Leeds should have won the game on that slant for me. But he didn't, and that is what it is. But yeah. Everton didn't even make a substitution. What are your thoughts? I didn't even realise that, Luca. Didn't even know that, mate. Interesting, very interesting. My thoughts are on that is that they were pretty comfortable. I thought there were definitely bouts where Leeds were making them uncomfortable. Obviously, when Sinistera scored that really good goal, I thought before that Leeds were really piling it on them. But you look at the first half, we didn't have a shot on target against Everton. So yeah, I didn't think throughout the contest they were wholly uncomfortable. To be honest, I thought there was a few flashes from Leeds, but aside from that, I thought their structure was all right. They had a back five, didn't they? Listen, I'm not expecting Frank to do anything tactically unbelievable. I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting him to bring some new tactical formation into play that's going to completely debunk Jesse Marsh's system. I'm expecting standard Frank Lampard to go to a back five and literally give them a standard chat in the changing room and say, hold on, frustrate the crowd like I could do, like you could do, frustrate the crowd, hit him on the counter, give it to Anthony. That's what I'm expecting from Frank Lampard. Leeds need to mitigate against that. Man of the match for me, Rocker and Adams together. Yeah, maybe you're right. Collins in the building. Thank you so much for your donation, buddy. Llorente was torrid tonight. Disappointing result. Need a win against Brentford. I think the big thing, Cole, is these games for us. You look at Southampton, on paper, they are tough games. Palace have got 2 tough games. Villa have got 2 tough games. Teams in and around us have tough games. So when I was looking at Everton, when I was looking at Brighton as a pair, I was thinking to myself, they have real opportunities for Leeds to get some points. Now, I was expecting 3 points against Everton and maybe a point against Brentford. That's what I was hoping. That's what my heart was saying. That's not happened, and it's brought me back down to reality a little bit. As Leeds always tend to do. But I'm not overreacting. Of course I'm not. It's, as I say, in the first 5 games, it's a good point return. But I think Leeds have had some, aside from Chelsea, I think we've had some decent fixtures. And you need to pick good points up in, when you've got a good remit of fixtures, really. And, Llorente, I mean, in all fairness, I don't really back him on this channel, but I thought he was making some all right passes. He was trying to at least go forward. I thought sometimes Adams and I'll throw a Rocker in there sometimes. I thought they were a bit lateral, a bit static sometimes, in terms of just like quite easily recycling the ball left to right, doing the Adam Forshaw. But I thought at least Llorente was at points trying to go forward, but I just can't defend the guy. I don't rate him as a centre-back. Imagine just buying a left-back and then putting Strauch centre-back. Imagine that as a concept. Wow. Baffling, isn't it? But I'm gonna give him at least some kudos for trying to get forward. But listen, guys, I never give him any kudos. So Llorente is terrified of using his left foot. Yeah, but God. This is why I love doing it live. At your service. What a point. The corners, man. The corners. What are they doing with corners? Aronson and Harrison go over to a corner, right? They'll talk to each other in each other's ear and then just hit the first man every time. It's like, lads, what are you talking about over there? What you're having for tea? When you get home, what are you doing? You're going to chill out, watch a little box set when you get home. What are you doing when you both go over there? Because you're essentially taking one player out of the game. You're not confusing the opposition at all. You're not confusing the opposition because the opposition every single time will put Onana there right on the edge of the box. So, the tallest player there to nod the ball out. And they'll put Connor Cody in behind him, another tall player who can knock the ball out as well if it beats the first man. And it does the same thing every single time. But yeah, The corners were atrocious tonight, weren't they? Atrocious. Lan says, I bloody hate Everton. Every effing second of the game they can. Time wasting. 5-5-0. They're an awful team to watch. They're just dreadful. Connor Cody was going down with head injuries, complaining to referee. This is a guy who's like the English darling. Goes on his like Sky Bet interviews and his Sky Sports interviews, and everyone's like, oh, Connor Cody, what a good guy. Can't wait for him to get onto Sky Sports afterwards. But then when he's in game, he's going down with head injuries. He gets a touch on the ankle, flops over on the floor. He's complaining all the time in the referee's ear. That's not like someone who's professional. I think it's just, and it's not somebody who just plays the game. It's almost like it's just a strange persona off the pitch and on the pitch. It's just like it's not consistent at all. It's bizarre. Nice guy off the pitch, but on the pitch, my God, just consistently time wasting. Samuel says, since the Premier League began, 98% of teams that took 8 or more points from the first 5 games avoided relegation. That's the thing, Samuel. That's my expectation, my friend, just to consolidate this season. But, you know, Everton are terrible. Someone said to me, oh, Connor, you thought Southampton were terrible, but they've just beaten Chelsea. Southampton were terrible against us. They were absolutely awful. We should have won that game. You know, and you look at the confidence difference from now when they're playing Everton to when they played us. It was on the floor when they played us. It really was. And Leeds should have won that game. Football changes. Things change. Teams build confidence. Teams integrate new players. Football develops. But at that point when Leeds played them, Leeds should have won that game. But at the same time, Samuel, what I'll refer to here in your comment, my friend, is everybody just expecting to avoid relegation this season? I am. But every other Leeds fan seems, a lot of other Leeds fans, I should say, I'm not going to categorise, I'm not going to generalise, but a fair few Leeds fans think that we're going to finish either in the top bracket, the top 10, or from, as the owner says, because I've put tweets out before and everybody said, you're negative if you don't believe in what the owner's saying. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. So a lot of what the owner is, we're going to finish 10th. To 10th to 13th or 14th, which is is that the expectation? Because, as Samuel said here, since the Premier League began, 98% of teams that took 8 or more points have avoided relegation. So is that what we're expecting as a fan base? I don't know. Maybe it is. Kim, thank you so much, my friend. Hope you're okay. Everton fan here. 2 awful teams, not going to lie. Yeah, man, Everton fans in the building. I thought that this game we were going to really kill you off. I did. I thought that we were going to, I said at the start of the video that I thought, my head said 1-1, but we all know my head can be quite negative. My heart said that Leeds were going to win this one 1-0. But I thought that press with Aronson, that press with Harrison, that press with Rodrigo or Gelhardt or whoever was going to really, put Everton on the back foot, but it didn't seem to do that. It didn't seem to do that at all. I thought the press was there, but then it wasn't there in the first half. I thought Everton were able to gain, not control, but they were able to manipulate the game a little bit. So 8 points, when you look at it out of 5, it's good. Obviously, it's decent. But Everton at home, it's circumstantial, isn't it? If we go to Brentford at the weekend and win, what an unbelievable start it's been. If we go to Brentford and draw, okay, good start. If we go to Brentford and lose, then it's like, Everton at home, we should have won that one. You know what I mean? Football is all about its context, isn't it? Avoiding relegation is for us like a few other quite a few is the main priority, says John. Bamford's touch was immaculate. Yeah, it was good when he came on. I thought it was decent. We just needed to stay fit. Brentford's a tougher game than this. Is Pat P, 100%, much tougher game than this. And Brentford won't be on the beach, by the way, like they were last season. That's not to take anything away from Leeds at all. We were brilliant on the day. We deserved the win at Brentford, but I think a different Brentford's going to come out for this one. I don't think it's going to be a similar Brentford. Not bothered about where we finish this year. Just want us to win the games that are there to be won. We would be more than happy. We would be more than fine if we played what was in front of us. Yeah, Alex. In a strange way, I am kind of bothered about certain things. But yeah, I am probably bothered about who we beat and where we finish. But we are out of funds. I saw Kim. Yeah. Yeah, apparently we had 30 to 35 million ready for CDK, up to 40 million euros. But we have 2 international number 9s. This is the programme notes. Angus Kinnear, don't shoot me, everybody who thinks I'm being negative. These are the programme notes. We have 2 international number 9s. And we have the best young product in the country at the minute. I have no idea what he's trying to spin there. But if that is genuinely what he's putting, well, it is. He's put it in the programme notes. That's staggering. That is a staggering level of either incompetence, negligence, or delusion, or just being told that we have no money from the board. Being told we have no money, you have to go out and spin this in a really good way. Use your articulate language. Just go out there and sit down there on your programme notes and sit there for half an hour and really make something good. Make the Leeds fans think that it's perfection. It really is. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. We have a Spanish number 9 who's now injured, who is very inconsistent, costs us a lot of money. We've not found his position yet. Could be an 8, could be a 9, could be a 9.5, could be a 10. We've not found his position yet. He's had a half-decent start to the season. Saw him revert back to type last game. He's come off with an injury this game. That is just what it is with Rodrigo. It's very good. And then it's like, Patrick Bamford, is he going to reach 15 Premier League games this season? Probably not. And then you've got a youngster in Joe Gelhardt, who I'm not going to blame for anything, but he's got not a great injury record, and he's a young lad who needs to be learning from a senior pro. So if it's a dereliction of duty, once again, I've said this numerous times on the channel before, a dereliction of duty, if you go in, if you leave the transfer window without anything, and suddenly, as soon as Rodrigo's gone off, I've seen 4 or 5 journalists, a decent journalist, saying that we are now joining the race for Cody Gakpo. Exactly. I heard Cody Gakpo and Brereton Diaz are on the market, but it's Liberty's here. He says, why can't we just sign players and not pay for them? Barca gets away with it. Kelvin says, Kinnear thinks we're idiots, complete disrespect to people's intelligence. Keep it in your comments in. Everyone really interested tonight. It's more of a forum tonight. I just want to hear what you guys are saying. I don't know if I'm somewhere else. Maybe I'm somewhere else. Listen, overall, if I'm to surmise my thoughts, I just think with an Everton team like they are, not had a good start to the season, not got some of, Richarlison's obviously gone, who I think is a massive player for them. DCL, huge player for them. I think Leeds have got to really impose themselves at home, like Everton did to us at home last season. Bit of revenge on the cards. Felt like we did it the second half. I thought first half it was a bit huff and puff. I thought they quite easily controlled the narrative, really. As someone said in the comment section below, they didn't make any subs, so it was quite comfortable for them, clearly. And yeah, I just didn't think Leeds imposed themselves properly for the 490. When you look at the Wolves game, you look at the Chelsea game at home, and I know you're not going to be able to do that every single home game, but I think you should be able to, with the system that we've got, with the players that we've got available, you should be able to at least impose that on a side that's probably going to be in the bottom 3, bottom 4. And that is admitted by their fan base, and a manager who is under pressure already. Second half we played well. We did. Yep. I'd have preferred 90 minutes playing well, to be honest. Leeds near defenders, not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. Anthony, I get pelters, but I don't care, really. I try to be objective with it, mate. I'd be sat in a pub with you, my man, and we'd be having a little discussion about this. Absolutely class. Yeah, I think he was decent. But the guy never stops. This is something that we put at Dan James's door. This is what I see with Jack Harrison all the time. He never stops. Energy. It's the bare minimum I expect. We need end product. There's a lovely little passage of play where Sinistera plays the ball into Harrison, pops it off to Harrison. It's 1-0. It's 2-1. Gets it muddled in his feet. I thought, listen, the energy is there. Of course it is. But I think, he was quite anonymous in the first half again. I don't know if he's absolutely class. And listen, I might be completely wrong. That's absolutely fine in this, mate. Absolutely fine if I'm wrong. I don't know if any of our players were absolutely class today. We drew 1-1 with a team that's going to finish in the bottom 4. Glad we're still unbeaten at home, but we definitely let 2 points slip. Hope we sign Sarr after tonight. He's got a good record against Scum. Yeah, listen, Noel, hopefully this puts a rocket up the board's arse when it comes to, once again, I mean, a player limping off with a dislocated shoulder. We don't know how long Rodrigo's going to be out for now. Now we're forcing Bamford to get in there. Does Gelhardt now start against Brentford? It all just seems a bit thin again, doesn't it? But that's where the board have got to stop being chances, and they've got to put their hands in their pockets and really start to invest and go find that money that apparently they were going and finding for CDK. They've got to go and find that money for a striker and bring him in. And then the fortunes of Leeds United change significantly. We're still, I think, light in midfield. I think we're light at left back, but they're not going to do anything like that. They're just not. And listen, we brought in a left back. We brought in just a supplementary CDM and a striker. You would get no complaints from me. You wouldn't get an ounce. You would not get an ounce. But it feels like every single window we go into the season, one or two light. And it feels like that again. Tenacious G says, just got a sneaky feeling we may bring someone in deadline day. I hope you're right, mate. I really do. We need someone. Christensen was better. I thought he was decent today, mate. I really did. At Arca, I thought he was much better today. Listen, there's a few of them who were better. I thought Rocker was good again. Christensen was good. The reason I talk about Rocker all the time is because he's probably the most intelligent footballer we've got. Christensen, I thought he was much better today. It was great how that little scamp, I'll put it that way, that little scamp who's rolling around on the floor consistently and whinging at the referee, Anthony Gordon. I thought Christensen did all right with him today. I thought he skinned him a couple of times in the first half, though, where Christensen was just square and static. But overall, I thought he did all right with him in the second half. Maybe that was just because Leeds had a bit more impetus. Yeah, Rasmus saved us on the goal line. Yeah, he did. And that's the thing. Like they had good chances, Everton. They had really good chances. I think every single team that's played Leeds has had decent chances. I think it's we're always going to be open at the back. We're going to rely on Melee a lot this season. We really are. Lewis says, Connor, I genuinely wish you could physically shake the board's money out of their pockets and spend it yourself. Hope don't the board agree with everything everyone is thinking. It's obvious what we need. Yeah, mate. I think it's when Angus is putting in his program notes, when he's literally putting at the top of them, when he's saying, I know the crowd are frustrated. I'm paraphrasing there, but I know everyone's frustrated. It's like, well, so you're acknowledging that. You know where everyone's frustrated. Are you skint? Are you just saying what Radrazani wants you to say and putting a lovely, eloquent spin on it? Because it seems like you are. It really does seem like that. You're happy with the squad. You're over the moon with the squad, even though you're getting Rodrigo clearly going off with a dislocated shoulder, Bamford earlier limping off, and Gelhardt, been taken off after what was it today? He got double subbed, didn't he? So Marsh clearly wasn't that impressed with him. I know he brought Bamford on, but if Gelhardt's doing such a supreme job up front, he puts Gelhardt and Bamford on together. So. And there's clearly problems there. Clearly, Marsh thinks that there needs to be more done. Left back, okay, he seems to think that's all right. Jesse Marsh in his press conferences, but he wants a striker. You back the manager. You back the manager to the hill. You don't back your manager to 80%. Bring in all these players, but don't bring in that final piece in the puzzle. That was the number one target in the flipping window, was a striker. Back end, don't have these short memories, everybody. The back end of last season, the number one position everybody was going on about was a striker. Everybody was saying a striker. So that's why I'm frustrated so much. It's more, I'm actually more frustrated by this guy's program notes than the actual result, and you can probably tell that with my demeanour. And we're probably going to do a stream in a little bit on this. Tenacious G says, I thought the melee save at the end was reminiscent of the Walker-Peters goal for Southampton, so in a way we're lucky to get a point, although it would have been undeserved on the bounce. But yeah, Walker-Peters, what a chance at the end he had, mate. James in the building, hi mate. I feel players playing out of position will hinder our development on partnerships and cohesion with the team. Can't disagree, mate. Keep going on about synergy. relationships. It's massive in football, like Strauch and Koch. That's what you want at centre back. Then you want a proper left back to come in. The fact that are we understanding? Like, are we understanding the? Listen, I'm a fan. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a statistician. I'm not a coach. I'm not a manager. Loads of you will come in here and think you know this, you know that. I've just got a platform. I've just got, thank God, people who listen to me. I couldn't give two hoots if 4 people were listening to me in a pub. Really don't. I couldn't care less. From a fan's perspective, I'm looking at this and thinking, if you're not doing this, you're going to hurt your investment further on down the line. We're all going on about money towards the back end of last season, money spent and all this sort of stuff. It's 3.5 million per place in the Premier League. If you invest in a striker, you're going to get that money back because we have the foundation now. We have decent players within this setup. If you have a striker in there, even if it is just a Hwang, even if it's it's never going to be a Shadams because Shadams never scores apparently. Shadams never gets goal contributions. Shadams isn't a good player apparently, according to some. He's doing all right this season, isn't he? Listen, you get players in of this quality, and they're going to influence this side. They really are in a really decent way because we've got a lot of the foundations there. Lotus, he says, genuine question, Connor. Who should fill in at left back once the injuries are back? Dallas, Ayling, Firpo, assuming. Oh, man. I can't believe we're talking about this, mate. But Strout is my answer to that. Sinistero looks saucy. He did, Mark. You're right. Connor, if one gets signed before the deadline, what position is it, striker or left back? Well, now, mate, it's got to be a striker, hasn't it? Because Rodrigo's probably going to be out for the best part of 2 or 3 weeks. And Bamford didn't look fit. Gelhardt was taken off, so he clearly hasn't got that much faith in him. Jamie, what if Pascal gets injured? Firpo comes in. Thomas says, it's clear as day that we need a striker. Even Steve can see that we need a striker. It's a weakness that Jesse has rightly been making a deal about. He can't say it. He can't say it, but it's evident. If you look at him with a left back, fair enough. He shuts it down. He shuts it down with the left back. I mean, he seems to be talking about Junior Firpo a lot. Fair play to you, Jesse, but I think that's going to come unstuck pretty quickly. But he's talking about Junior Firpo quite a lot. He wants him in as his left back, left wing back, whatever it's going to be. Striker, he's saying that he wants another one in. He's paraphrasing. He wants another striker in, but he's appreciative of what the board's done. He's sent him back on the bench today, but listen, I'm all right. I'm all right. Listen, it is what it is. We've got a point. It's not the end of the world. I think everybody, just to surmise, I am more frustrated about Angus Kinnear's programme notes because I try to look at the longevity of my club, the longevity of Leeds United, the longevity of this project, and I think that's going to hurt us. That's my opinion. I think that's going to hurt us. So it's not right now. The point, it's all right. It's not the end of the world. I said that in my preview. I think getting 3 points would have been obviously advantageous to Leeds United. I think, we should have got all 3 points tonight against a poor Everton side, a disjointed, a fragmented Everton side. But it is what it is. A point's not the end of the world. Sinistero's got off the mark. Positives there. Rocker was good tonight. I thought Adams was better. Bamford looked good. His touch was decent when he came on. Gelhardt, he had a decent opportunity. He should have scored, but at least he was getting himself into those positions. Click looked nice when he came on. But I'm more frustrated by Angus Kinnear's programme notes, if I'm honest with you. And the fact that we're not going to get a striker in, we're not going to get a left back in. That is what is doing my head in at the minute, because I think further down the line it's going to hurt Leeds. And I think a lot of you would probably have been thinking the same thing at 1-0 down when Everton were just falling round. Lampard's going at the fourth official. You thinking to yourself, oh no, here we go. And it's a moment of absolute brilliance from Luis Sinistero that gets us out of it. We know we did that last season consistently, didn't we? Don't we? And listen, we've built the foundations, of course we have, but you simply have to legislate for Patrick Bamford getting injured. You simply have to legislate for Joe Gelhardt getting injured. You simply cannot just rely on Rodrigo to get you 15 goals this season, because I don't think that'll happen. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think that'll happen. I don't know what Marsh said afterwards. LUFC, Ania says, LUFC coach Jesse Marsh on Wolves forward Hwang Yi-chan. He's on our list and has been from the beginning. Well, go get him then. I'm not saying he's going to solve all of our problems, guys, because I don't think he will. I really don't. But it's another body going forward, and it's a good quality forward. And especially, I think Wolves have brought someone in as well. So I think that's going to open the passage a little bit. But they have to get someone in. They have to get someone in, or it's just gross negligence again, as we've spoken about before. Dean says, would you take Chris Wood back if he went cheap and Ross Barkley? Dean, I would take neither of them. I think Ross Barkley's a mercenary who doesn't press at all. I think he's a bang average footballer. When the chips are against him, which is what we're building at Leeds United, you know, when the chips are against you, when the chips are down, you have to fight, you have to battle. Ross Barkley doesn't do that. He showed that at Aston Villa, and Chris Wood's stiff as a board. So no, I wouldn't take him back. He wouldn't work in this system, in my opinion. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully we get someone in. I'll do a transfer stream. Please make sure you like the video if you've agreed with what I've said. If you disagree, please like it anyway and get your comment in the section below and just tell me what you think. I'm going to leave it there. Leeds have got away with a point. Not got away with a point. We deserved a point. But yeah, we did. We deserved probably maybe a little bit more towards the end. If there was going to be a team that was going to score, it was going to be Leeds. But disappointing first half. Better second half. Questionable substitutions, I think. And some absolutely diabolical programme notes. Guys, I'll see you next time.